programa ay rated PG. Patnubay at gabay ng magulang ay kailangan sa mga batang manonood.
Sabi nila, we are unique to one another. May kanya-kanya tayong pag-isip at pangangatawan. At dahil dyan, masabi nga natin kontrolado natin ang ating mga sarili.
Ngunit, tila may isang bagay na magpapabago sa paniniwalang yan. Hypnotismo. Totoo nga ba ito at ang isip lang natin mga tao? Kami po ang Brucey at samahan niyo kaming tuklasin ang katotohanan sa likod ng hypnotismo.
Je vais les approcher de vos yeux de plus en plus et vos yeux vont se fermer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Ito ang kadalasang nangyayari sa tuwing sumasailalim ang isang tao sa tinatawag nating hypnotic phenomena. Isang bagay na tila unti-unting pumapasok sa iyong katauhan, na pansamantala rin babago sa iyong pananaw sa buhay, na siya nang nagdudulot ng agam-agam sa iba.
Et vous pouvez parler sans vous réveiller. Dites-moi si vous entendez ma voix.
Ngunit, ano nga ba ang hypnotismo? Para saan ito? At ano nga ba talaga ang kahalagahan nito? Tara, alamin natin.
Naniniwala ka ba sa hypnotism? Bakit?
Naniniwala ka ba sa hypnotism?
Yeah, oo. Bakit? Kasi nung psychology class namin, di ba, sinubukan ako i-hypnotize ni sir. For me, kahit paano naging effective naman yun kasi yun nga, yung pinag-aasa sa akin ni sir is naging maayos naman or parang
Alam mo, friend, tagal-tagal ko na nagpaapa yan. Pero, hindi ko talaga kaya eh.
Ha? Paano ba naman kasi tuwing stress ka na lang, lagi ka na lang lumalamon? Eh, paano yan? Lagi kang stress. Ayan, lalo kang tumataba.
Pininiwala naman ako sa'yo. Sexy mo kasi eh.
Alam nyo, girls, tignan nyo na yan. Kasi, meron akong bright idea. Girl, ano yun? Bakit hindi kaya siya pumunta sa isang psychologist para magpa-hypnotize? Nung sa ganun, matigal naman yung lamon ng lamon.
Parang di naman yan totoo. Walang effect yan, no?
Ba't kaya hindi natin kausapin ng isang psychologist? Tama.
Okay, hypnotism. No, hypnotism can be defined this way. It is control. Control of one person over another person in an unconscious level. Now, why would you engage in that? You engage in that primarily as a form of therapy for people who, for example, need help in overcoming their vices, like smoking, drinking, or playing computer games. Now, this is done through a form of hypnotic induction, where the hypnotist makes the subject undergo a process of relaxation until the subject enters into what is called a hypnotic trance. And during that hypnotic trance, it's a time when the hypnotic suggestion or command is given to the subject by the hypnotist. Most of the time, hypnotism is done by people who are trained to hypnotize, like psychologists and psychiatrists. This falls under what is called the conscious aspect of psychology. That is why hypnosis falls under the unconscious control of another person. Now, what are the limitations of hypnotism? The limitation is that since the subject must be willing, if the subject is unwilling, not possible to hypnotize the subject. Another reason or another limitation is that if there is no trust, then the hypnosis cannot work. Other limitations involve the length of time that the hypnosis is effective. Sometimes the hypnosis does not last very long. For example, if a person is hypnotized so that he quits smoking, the duration that the person will quit smoking is not permanent. Sometimes he will overcome the hypnosis, and because of that, he must be hypnotized again so that he will continue to not smoke.
Ayan, nakuha na natin ang panig ng isang psychologist. Sa aming pagbabalik, matutunghayan natin ang ilan sa mga kaabang-abang na storya sa likod ng hipnotismo.
This program is brought to you by
Your head, magpalmol. Check your head, magpalmol. Check your head, magpalmol.
Angel's Burger. Sa unang lugar, agad.
May isa na lang tumagaw sa amin na leksyon. Tatawagin natin siya sa mga landiang diagnosis na nagsasagawa ng extreme hypnotism, hindi lang dito sa Pilipinas, maging sa ibang bansa.
Mas madali kaya pare sa ganun.
Yeah.
Now, if it's okay with you, would you like to do these same things? You'd like to feel all those? If it's okay, I would like to take you one step beyond that and let you feel actual hypnosis. It gets lighter and lighter. And look over here for a second as that hand flows. Feel something happening here now? Look at that. Look at that.
Make her float!
Make her float. The fuck? So wonderful, like floating on a cloud. So wonderful. It's like a bag of rubber. Wonderful. Relax. Relax, relax. Relax. Every count, 5 to 0, you'll feel yourself letting go more and more, drifting, floating. Each count from 5 to 0, you'll allow yourself to drift deeper and deeper to sleep. 1, 2, eyes open, eyes open. Hey, what you doing down there? What are you doing down there? Give me your hand. You always do that? 1, 2, 3, okay. Oh, you're everything. Look.
Oh,
How are you?
you know,
Now, you know what just happened?
nangyari?
You know what just happened?
Ba't nakahiga ka?
Ba't nakahiga ka dun? Patama kang bote?
What happens when I do this? Watch. Okay, look at my hand. Look at my finger. Okay, take a deep breath. Close your eyes and deep asleep. Deep asleep. Deep asleep. Deep asleep. Feeling so wonderful. Feeling so wonderful. Every sound around you, whether it's laughing or the cars, everything helps you to relax more and more. It's stuck. You ever had your hand stuck to your head? You have. Your hand's been stuck. It's stuck. It does. When I pull this hand down, it makes that one go up. Watch this. It's amazing. Watch. Watch. That one starts to lift. And it goes higher and higher and higher. That one goes up and this one goes down and this one goes up. There you go. Put your hands back to normal. Okay. Hands are normal.
Tanggal na yan. Turasin na.
So wonderful. That's right. In a moment, not now, in a moment I'll count from 1 to 5. You'll be wide awake, and all of the silly suggestions of your hand being stuck to your head, or me saying deep asleep, making you go deep asleep, all of that is completely removed. It will not work any longer. And all the silly suggestions are gone. However, something will stay with you for weeks and weeks to come. When you open your eyes, you're going to find you're just smiling more than normal. You're a happy girl, but you're going to be really happy when your eyes open. Really happy. Next time you go to study, you're going to find that you are able to concentrate 10 times better than you could concentrate before. You're going to remember much more when you read a book than you read before. Your reading comprehension is going to go up. You're going to find studying and concentrating is going to be easier than it ever was. You have a wonderful family, I'm sure, a loving family. But interestingly, you're going to sense an even stronger feelings of love and gratitude for your friends and family. Stronger than you felt in a long time. You've always felt it, but it's just going to feel amplified, stronger. That's right. You're going to feel wonderful, healthy, feel energized for the rest of the day. And we're going to count up from 1 to 5 and be right awake, feeling wonderful. 1, feeling wonderful. 2 times more connected to your mind and body. 3, having thoroughly enjoyed this experience. 4, now feeling the energy coming in through your top of your head, energy coming in through your hands, through the bottom of your feet. Becoming aware of your surroundings. That's right, energy returning. Take a deep breath in, deep breath, breathe in all that energy giving oxygen, feeling wonderful, totally refreshed, feeling great. And 5, wide awake, eyes open, feeling great. How great do you feel? How great do you feel? Do you remember being hypnotized? Okay, stand over here. When I tap you on the head, you will remember. No, when I say remember, I snap my fingers, you will remember everything that happened, okay? When I snap my fingers and say remember, you will remember everything. Remember. Remember. Remembering now. Remember being on the ground? Remember. Remember your hand stuck to your head? Remembering. There it comes. There it goes. Now you remember? You remember now? You remember your hand stuck on the head? You remember being on the ground? Okay, tell the camera that you've just been hypnotized by Jeff the hypnotist.
Sir, do you believe that hypnotism is one form of ESP? Skill or black magic is what the other people sees it.
Let's first start with the word black magic. When you wrote it, I had to go to the Google and I looked up black magic because I wasn't really sure what it was. Let me find the definition here. I just wrote it. That's question 9, I believe. Black magic. Okay, one moment. Let me find this. Okay. Black magic. All right. In the Google I found it said black magic is traditionally referred to as the use of supernatural powers of magic for evil or for selfish purposes. So the word black implies dark and evil, right? So nothing I do is dark, and nothing I do is evil, and nothing I do is selfish. I'm there to create entertainment, to make people smile, to show people the power that they have. It's not so much about my power, it's about the skill in using their power. I'm just kind of, here's a great example, a personal fitness trainer, right? A personal fitness trainer, you do some push-ups, and the trainer says, come on, you can do it, do 3 more, go, 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 right? And then what happens? You do 3 more. Where did the extra power come from? It didn't come really from the trainer. The trainer was the guide that helped you find the power inside of yourself, right? It's like the coach. So really, I see hypnotism as a guide, a coach, someone to help you access the powers that you already have, and maybe you didn't understand how to reprogram, because really it's like a computer, but we don't have a manual. So it's really about understanding how it works and helping people to use that. So
When can you say that your subject is already under your command, knowing that we are different beings and ways of thinking?
first, let me take the word induction. The word induction generally refers to the starting point. So when you see an induction in maybe the street hypnosis or the show, people look and say, oh, that's when hypnosis began. But not always. Sometimes the hypnosis began, actually many times, before the induction. The induction was more of a marker, like you draw a line in the sand to say to the person's mind, this has begun. To tell the people that are watching, we have begun. It's a dividing line, but it's not a necessity for hypnosis. You'll see me in the videos where I start making someone's arm go up by itself, and you don't see an induction before that. But for that to happen, that's called hypnotic phenomena. So essentially, I'm creating hypnosis before the induction. Okay? Because, so one is, how do we know what is hypnosis? How do you define it? How do you say this person is hypnotized and this person isn't? I think the way that we can say if someone's hypnotized is if I hypnotize you, okay? There's Jay-ar. Okay, Jay-ar and Bobby, got it. So, if I hypnotize Jay-ar, and your arm starts to rise up, right? And I say, Jay-ar, are you lifting your arm? You say, no, man, it's not me. I'm not doing nothing. I'm just standing there. Then I know you're hypnotized because it's happening beyond your awareness. It's happening somewhere else in another part of your brain, or some hypnotists argue, what are the parts? There's a conscious, there's a subconscious. No, there's an unconscious and a subconscious and a conscious. Or none of those exist, so they argue these things, but it doesn't matter. The fact is that we have a part of our brain that is having this conversation now, and you're aware. There's also a part of the brain that's doing things outside of your awareness, such as you've been listening to me, we've been having a conversation, but yet you haven't once thought about making sure your heart continues to beat. You haven't stopped to think, oh, I better breathe, I better grow my hair, I better digest my food. You didn't stop to think that because it's generally outside of your conscious awareness. The same thing with the arm rising up. They see it moving up, but they say, how's it possible? Is there a ghost in the room? I don't understand. Some people get very scared because they really feel like it's like a possession. It's not a possession. We're just accessing parts of your mind that control things outside of your awareness to make that happen.
Sir, do you believe that in conducting hypnotism, rapport must be built first?
Very good question. When I hypnotize someone, you don't always hear this in all the videos. For example, there's one of the videos where, let me think of the girl's name, Ruby, where she's in a department store and she's on the floor.
Yes, sir.
While she's on the floor, I'm you're hypnotized, that your vision, your hearing, your sense of smell, all your senses are heightened. You become more aware. People think, oh, she's sleeping. No, she can hear every word I say. And actually, if I walk far away from her, within reason, where it would be difficult for her to hear and understand me, she will be able to understand me, even at a further distance than normal, because she's so focused that the other voices kind of fade away, and she can focus on the sound of my voice.
There are people who do not believe in hypnotism, sir. They think there are just misconceptions. So, how will you convince them to believe in it?
Memories are a funny thing, because what we remember is not necessarily always the truth, because what we remember is the way that we filed it. For example, you're sitting in the classroom, and your instructor is speaking, and each one of you, Jay-ar and Bobby, you're taking notes. And when we look at your notes, we're not going to see the same words, right? You're both sitting in the same lecture with the same instructor, but yet your notes are different. Your memory of what they said might be a little bit different. Okay. And then when you go the next day and try to remember what the instructor said, we sometimes, every time we recall the memory, we tend to change it a little bit. So memories are a little bit of a funny thing. If you have 10 people watching something and they all describe what they saw, they don't usually describe exactly the same thing. We see things, it's like we're each, if I look, these glasses have a little bit of a yellow, like a light brown or yellow shades. When I look through these things, life and the beach and the ocean, everything looks, the sky looks a little bit different when I look through here. And each of us, with or without glasses, really have a perception, because each of us have different experience. So when the information comes in, we don't all get the same information because it's all being filtered through our experiences. So reality is not reality. Reality is what we believe it to be. That's the crazy thing about reality. Your belief about something affects your individual reality. Right? So things are not good or bad.
Does the change of belief when someone undergoes hypnotism pertains to a long change?
It can be either. It can be short term, but when it comes to something like eating too much or smoking or difficulty with concentration, studying habits, these are things that we really want, or phobia, fear, these are things that we want to change for the long term, right? For months or years or a lifetime. So that's the intention as a hypnotist. That's what I want. That's what I want to do. That's what I try to do. Does it always last for the whole time? No. Is that okay? Sure. If you take a musical instrument, a piano, a guitar, you go and you adjust the strings, you tune the guitar. I don't know how long it stays in tune. I don't have a guitar. But if you have to retune it, so what? No problem. A little bit of maintenance to keep it going. I think maintenance is important. So, for example, building a habit. If sometimes you have a difficulty concentrating, but then one day you concentrate really well, you start reading the book like, wow, this is so great, I'm really concentrating. Then you want to pat yourself on the back and say, good job, thank you, brain, thank you, you're good, man, let's do this again, I like this. And you want to reinforce that, and then do it again the same day or tomorrow, and then do it again, so that you always stay good at concentrating. Because sometimes you have adults that they went to school as a child, then they worked, then they went back to school because they want a new job, right? 20 years later. And they say, oh, it's so hard to study again because I didn't practice this in all these years. But But if they were reading a book, or some kind of a book, on a regular basis, even a few pages every day, their brain would stay sharp. Very much like someone who exercises. If you don't exercise for more than a week, you're probably going to feel weak and out of shape. But if you exercise a little bit every day or every other day, it's easy to continue to exercise because you create the habit and then you keep it going. I'm sorry, I got really long.
So, according to my psychology professor, it takes a lot of meditation on the part of the subject before undergoing hypnotism. But your videos contradict that statement. So, my question is there a proper process in conducting hypnotism?
So there are different methods, methodologies, like you should do this first, and this second, and this third. And that's okay to start that way. But if you want to be a really good hypnotist, you want to learn many different methods, or become good at least. First get really good at one method, then learn other methods, and then learn that all those steps are not necessary. Sometimes you use them, sometimes you don't, and you have to learn how to change your steps based on what you see. So for example, if I'm looking at you, and I'm trying to, or I'm looking at Bobby here, and I'm trying to hypnotize Bobby, and I see that, and I try to do something and it doesn't work. Then I have to switch. I have to take another tool out of the bag, right? And I have to try something a little different. It's like you take a screwdriver to, wrong size, you take a different one. Oh, that one works better. Oh, no, I gotta take a pliers. I'm gonna try that one, right? And you have many tools that you use, but it's very important to look at your subject when possible, unless they're a really great subject, and to see what's happening. You can see how they're responding to you. For example, did you ever talk to a girl or someone or a friend, and you talk to them and they talk to you and then they look away, and they're distracted, or they're looking at their phone, they're sending a message, and they're not really listening to you, right? They're not 100%. So you have to do something different. If you continue the same way, you're going to get the same result. You better do something different. You better become more fascinating, or you better take the phone and throw it out the window, or you better, do something different. So you have to adapt. You're always changing. I don't do things exactly the same way every time. No way.
Nakuha na natin ang mga panig.
Panig ng mga simpleng mamamayan, eksperto, at isang professional hypnotist.
Iba't iba man ang kanilang pananaw, naniniwala pa din sila sa isang bagay. To see is to believe, or should I say, to experience is to believe.
Kung ano man yun, nasa atin na ang kasagutan. Ika nga ni Junel, kontrolado natin ang ating mga sarili.
Ngunit, ayon nga kay Avonny, hypnotism can change that belief. Pero ganun pa man, narito kami upang tulungan kayong saliksikin ng salitang hypnotism.
Sa ulitin po, dahil 24/7 po aming bukas para sagutin ang inyong mga katanungan.
This ain't a song for the broken hearted. No silent prayer for faith departed.
Ang programang ito ay rated LPG. Labis na patnubay at gabay ng magulang ang kailangan. Maaaring makapaminsala pag napabayaan habang nagluluto ng sinigang, adobo, batchoy, okoy, ginataan. Ilayo sa mga bata na hindi mapaglaruan.
In them drinks. You know what to do with that big fat butt. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
We clawed, we chained our hearts in vain. We jumped, never asking why. We kissed, I fell under your spell of love. No one could deny. Don't you ever say I just walked away. I will always want you. I can't live a lie running for my life. I will always want you. I came in like a wrecking ball. I never hit so hard in love. All I wanted was to break your walls. All you ever did was wreck me. Yeah, you wrecked me.
Cause you